nightmare.
Hello and welcome to Cinema Subculture, the podcast where we discuss everything strange, obscure and downright messed up in the world of movies. My name's Gary.
And I'm Simon. Welcome to episode 19, where we're going to be looking at
Kids from 1995, directed by Larry Clark.
some dramatic pauses here, Gary. Kids! You going to put an echo in that later?
Good to,
That sounds good. Yeah, Kids 1985. Directed by Larry Clark, as you said. written by Harmony Korine. Do you want to give us a bit of a rundown, Gary?
So the film follows a sort of integrated group of teenagers in New York, and it's one day in their life, and it's basically shit they got up to.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it.
Thinking about the it was a tagline that I was thinking about for this film. Just thinking there was just something funny I was thinking about. The tagline for this film, when I heard the line, should have been it's, 2 virgins one day, yo. I bet you money. I like that line. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the taglines was, or one of the synopsis was a day when everything and nothing happens.
Right.
So how did you come across this? Did you see this before you saw like the likes of Gummo and things?
Yes. I can't remember the first time I saw it. I remember seeing it on like Channel 4.
Really, right?
I think it must have been back like maybe the late 90s or 2000s, something like early 2000s. I remember seeing like bits of it all the time, and it was a while before I saw the full film. It was shown in Film 4. At one time Mark Hamill did a Extreme season, Extreme Cinema. So I don't know if it would have shown an uncut one or not. Sometimes like for those type of seasons they make an effort to do the uncut one, but whether or not it would have been allowed to get shown, I don't know.
Yeah, so like me and Gary found out. We just after we ended really the podcast last time, that the UK DVD was cut for about 50 seconds. So mad scramble.
Hi.
Downloading. Oh, sorry, nothing. I never said that.
Yeah, that's it. I've had that DVD
cut that downloading thing
for years.
Mad
like,
scramble.
I guess it was before I was more like discerning about cuts and stuff. I wasn't that up in that sort of stuff. So that was a bit of a stinger.
I mean, watching the uncut version, did you notice the cuts?
Was there
anything
I checked
like...
out what they were.
Sorry?
I checked
it. Sorry,
yeah.
I was
so
just being
like just one
did
scene.
you know, right.
The rape scene at the end.
Right.
With Caspar and Jenny.
So is that just like trimmed or what?
Yeah, and it's cause it cuts to like one of the younger kids like sleeping on the couch.
Right.
And it's sort of his react. Well, he's asleep, but
yeah, it's like he'll have nightmares. Cool. So you reckon you saw it before you saw any of the rest of the stuff then? Aye.
Yeah, definitely.
When was Gummo released?
97, I think.
97.
Yeah.
That was his first film.
Yep.
Yeah. So what about Larry Clark? Had you heard anything about? Have you heard anything of his other work?
I've seen a few.
Yeah.
I've seen Bully.
Sure.
Teenage Caveman, and I've been meaning to watch Ken Park for ages. After the Korine and him did Kids, Ken Park was a Korine script that they were going to do after.
Right.
But then it never quite worked out. But then Clark later filmed it without sort of Karine's involvement.
I think you've told me this before. Actually.
Korine wasn't totally happy with it because apparently Clark changed some of it and stuff like that. But that's a similar vein. Like, as Clark's kind of he likes to do this sort of teenage shocking teen movie. What were your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I thought I really enjoyed it. Like, it was kind of like the whole same kind of feeling I had with Gummo, except you can see how I remember commenting on Gummo saying about the whole. It didn't feel like a post-apocalyptic type, or after a big thing where all the adults had disappeared. Was the premise that was sold to me on. It felt like it was a kind of end of the world esque type thing, or kind of abandoned town or whatever. But viewing this with it, you can see like the weirdness that Gummo has. This doesn't quite have the weirdness. It's played more for kind of, I guess, kind of shockingly accurate, of the lives of the kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the characters were all very colourful and it was really weird. I've never been in that type of group
Right.
when I was a kid. You know what I mean? That's social, but you know there were that type of group around. If you know what I mean. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. What about yourself?
Yeah, I love this film. It's
Yeah.
definitely one of my favourites. I think it's a phenomenal piece of work. Clark said he wanted to make the great American teenage movie, and I think he nails it. To me, this film is just one in a tradition of teen movies that really shook everything up, like shook the kind of established social norms, like going back to the 50s with Brando and the Wild One, Rebel Without a Cause, like Clockwork Orange. So I think it's up there with the most realistic views of teenage life that's ever been depicted in cinema. Which isn't the most the nice thing. I mean, it's pure debauchery.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of true.
And it's weird because I feel that maybe not. I don't know. I mean, we were what 11, 12, something like that in 95,
right?
And I don't really remember it being kind of that kind of attitude, or you know, things quite as brutal, or you know what I mean, as what's the word I'm looking for? Well, debauched, I guess, what you said. For us at that age, but now in this country, I feel that those are the kind of things that are happening. Like in the stories I've heard, I've got some friends that are teachers and things like that. You know, you hear, and like, even just like my wife's a wee bit younger than us and stuff like that. Stuff that she come up through. You know what I mean? Like in people, parties and like very young people doing things they shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? Stuff that I didn't feel. I wasn't really aware of when we were that age.
Right.
I didn't feel it was as prominent as it is now. Like, you know what I mean?
See, I wouldn't say that because I think it's always the same. But once a generation grows up, they always see the next generation as much more like amoral and debased than they were.
I mean, it's just
a thing.
I didn't know of at that time like 12 and 13-year-old people doing that, but
yeah, I guess that's more city.
I get. I mean, it did happen because I know there's some people that dropped out of school pretty early because pregnancy and things like that. But I mean, so I guess then if that's the case, I mean, again, maybe I was quite a bit sheltered at that point. The point then that I would make then is that this is still accurate. It's you know, it's timeless almost. It does still work. You know, that's my main point, is that it is very accurate for even in this country. I feel, you know, that is what goes on. Definitely, you know.
Yeah, it's not really the most gratifying depiction of teenagers, but I think it's the truth.
Yeah, there's not much.
Anyone at that like 15 who's not like getting wasted and having sex, they want to be doing that.
What, sorry?
If they're not actually doing it, they want to be doing it.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely. I mean, Casper in the film's your prime suspect, man. Like, he talks about it all the time, man, but like just gets wasted and doesn't actually do anything about it. At one point, he's got that the chick that they go swim with long hair. Like he's got her basically wrapped around his finger. And he's, you know, he's giving her compliments, stuff like that, and he still doesn't end up like doing anything whether someone else does. You know what I mean? It's like he's a total washer. You know what I mean? But yeah, like the kind of the voiceover that Telly gives at the beginning and end is, I mean, that is for, like, especially guys at that age, whether they admit it or not, it's what they want to be doing. You know what I mean? That's pretty much it. But it is, I mean, that's what, like 17 years out now from the film being made, and it's almost 2 decades, and it's still At no point did the film feel dated. Again, because like the culture, like the American culture, is slightly different, just a wee bit anyway. So that maybe somebody who lives in New York, growing up now, would find it dated. But you know, being able to separate the culture, none of it felt dated at all. You know, which is a total testament to the script and to the filmmaker. You know what I mean? Most of it was shot handheld as well, and like a lot of kind of loose takes. You know, a lot of improvisation. And apparently, some of the parties were kind of all set up. Right. Well, that was one of the rumours that like the kids just got drunk. And high and stuff. Yeah, I think there's some debate as to how much was improvised. Sure. Yeah. There's a bit where there's the 4 boys sitting in the couch. the party at the end,
Right.
and they're passing the doobie along, and the guy like third, like second in from the left,
Right.
just looks like he's ready to piss himself the whole time. He's talking, he's big enough that he's a big drawer and stuff like that.
Yeah, a fairly recent interview with Karina I saw, he said it was like maybe 80-20
Right,
in terms of script improvisation. But I think that's the first thing that hits me is the dialogue.
Oh, aye.
I love like that kind of naturalistic dialogue. It just makes the characters jump off the screen.
Yeah, there was so many times when you forget you're watching a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when like Jenny goes into the, I think she went into the club, and like, people just standing around, and it didn't feel. And you had little pieces of conversation, but I started wondering to myself, how was this staged? You know, how did even
Right.
because it doesn't feel staged. That's the whole point. You know what I mean? It just feels like they've just went into any old club,
Right.
and just started filming and catching wee pieces of people's life.
Aye.
Which is, that's what you're going for. If you're, you know what I mean, to me, like when you're making a film, is to try and not make it feel
Yeah.
staged. You know. But even like right from maybe the first scene with him and the girl, with telling the girl, not saying that feels staged, but it really comes to life when he goes outside and meets with Casper. You know what I mean? That's the kind of when the film takes off. You know what I mean? It gets going. Because he goes from this like totally like pussy whipped kind of like, oh, I love you baby, you know what I mean, kind of guy, just skipping down the stairs. You fuck him, man. You know I fucked him.
Yeah, I love the two guys, even though they're kind of,
in
some ways they're kind of dicks,
despicable at some points, you know what I mean. But yeah, you do root for them, definitely at certain points anyway. And I quite liked that Casper guy. Like I thought he, you know, it was funny, and
right,
when they're at Tilly's house and he's talking like about his mum and stuff. It's just stupid bullshit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he seemed to be almost like the more moral of the two. Like when Tilly's talking about getting with Darcy,
right,
he's like, man, she's only 13. What the hell?
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure, would you not say that the girl that he just like shagged was only 13, like at the beginning of the film?
Yeah. Don't know if they state the age.
I thought
yeah, it said something like she's just
right, got you. So, but I mean, there's no characters really in it that are completely redeemable. You know what I mean? But it doesn't make any apologies for that. It's not trying to. It's not, and it's not. You're not being left with any judgment on the characters. I thought even the depiction of the depiction of the girls was quite interesting. Being a guy and not having like, I don't know if that's how all girls talk, like, but like it was quite interesting seeing the kind of flip side.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's quite interesting because the script seems to be written from like a feminist bent in a certain way, because the female characters are the one who have a sense of morality and responsibility, and they're the sensible ones throughout the story, where the guys are just basically idiots.
Yeah, they're the ones that go and get tested like for STDs and
because that's an amazing scene, like when it's contrasting the two conversations.
Yeah,
and
you just like it's not that new, but you know that way you're just waiting and you know that's coming.
Yeah,
like with Chloe Sevigny's character, you just you can feel it building up because of the way they're doing that. Showing the contrast.
Aye, because the guys are talking about, I don't know anyone who has AIDS, that's all bullshit, it's made up bullshit. And then the girls are saying we're going to get an STD test and shit.
Sorry, you were talking about, I meant when Rosario Dawson and Chloe Sevigny are both getting interviewed at the STD clinic. Right. But yeah, no, you're right enough what you're saying with that bit as well, and like talking about
girls love sucking dick.
Yeah, that was brilliant. See what he said? Oh, you know, we should be loving sucking dick. That was brilliant. And then it skips to them. Like, oh no! I thought that was good. But yeah, it was really well put together. That those scenes. But it was quite interesting to see the kind of flip side of things. You know, the guys are like, they're literally like, I mean, they're talking about that. They're like, oh, you know, she can't wait to grab you. The first thing she goes for. It's so fucking stupid. And you could tell like there was like a series of them, like fucking like maybe like one would be starting off kind of half bullshit and throwing it out there, and then there'd be another one be like kind of like, I've got no idea, but I'm saying it anyway because I know, you know. And then, like, it's like, you know, just being the big man.
See, Larry Clark's sometimes thought in quite sort of dubious terms as like a bit of a sleazy child pornographer.
Right, I can
So
kind of, yeah, I can kind of.
yeah, because an interview I saw with Leo Fitzpatrick, who plays Telly, he was saying how he first met Clark. He was like an older guy and he was just hanging about like the skate parks in New York, just like taking pictures. But
Did you fucking lift it for that?
Supposedly he was working for a skating magazine.
Right.
But then he just like saw like Leo Fitzpatrick and he thought, right, I need to put that guy in a film.
I mean, the guy's good. I mean, the guy's pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't realise like he's been a lot of stuff that I've seen him in. Like I did Google imaged him and like Wikipedia'd him, and he'd been in like My Name Is Earl and things like that. Things I've seen him in, and when you see the pictures of him more recently, you know. He did bug me at first, that way. Like, when he was talking, like I don't know, something about the way he was looking.
Right.
I just felt like he was drunk all the time or something. You know what I mean? But he did grow on me. But I thought what he did was really, really good.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, I believe the actual script, sort of story idea, is credited to Clark and someone else. But then he brought in Kareen, who I think was maybe like 16 or something when he first met him.
Right.
And Kareen had been hanging out with a lot of these, like the actual actors in the film in New York, and then he had kind of based a script around that, and then they kind of brought it together. So yeah, I love the fact that it's like all non-actors.
Yeah,
totally adds to that realism. Yeah, so the film's been called Virtually Child Pornography.
Right.
I mean, what did you think? Do you think it was voyeuristic at all?
I don't know. At the beginning, I was quite like when he undoes the girl's bra at the beginning. Maybe then we don't really see anything, but like I was kind of thinking, how far is this going to go? You know what I mean? And I'd read about the kind of the kind of accusations that had been levied at him, about the film and stuff like that. And the same with Darcy at the end. I didn't feel uncomfortable really with it. Other, as I say, like the whole film, because you do feel as if you're just peering in on what's happening. It feels very realistic. Do you know what I mean? I guess it is a little voyeuristic from that, because you are kind of like feel as if you're in these people's lives,
right?
Rather than watching a film. But I didn't think it was exploitative. You know what I mean? I didn't feel that there was. I didn't feel it went too far. It never made me feel uncomfortable, really.
Yeah. No, I don't think that. Well, it's interesting because, I mean, it's seen as exploitative, but I think the film has a real moral bent to it. Like it has a strong sense of morality, like with the way it goes to the end. Well, I think Clark's kind of depicting underage sex as it actually is. It's quite realistic, but he's saying this leads to AIDS. It doesn't have a good ending.
So, what did you think of the scene where they beat up the black guy, like the model? Everyone kind of was a bit. I felt like came out of nowhere a wee bit, but I knew what they were kind of getting at and stuff like that. And you were kind of left kind of. It was kind of playing it morally ambiguous, because you didn't really know what you felt about it.
Okay.
I found, you know what I mean? At one point I was really like, oh my god, they're going to like kill this guy, and then I don't know, like then I don't know, you can't. I thought it was hard because you were kind of like, you're almost on the side of the character before that,
right?
So it felt like you should be on their side, because like it's weird. I don't know, it's a weird one, but then when everyone jumps in, it felt weird. And then they're talking about it later, and they they're kind of like, it's almost like the character conflicted, like, oh, did we killed that guy?
Yeah.
And the guy's like, nah, he's fine, kind of thing. Right. And it felt like I wasn't sure how I was supposed to feel about it.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Well, I think I'm with Casper at the start, in the sense, because he
says sorry about it.
He tries to like wave it off, but the guy's going for it. So fight him, that's fairly justified. I've
got to admit, I did for a split second. I thought there's all these folk round about and they might jump in, but like, and then I lost that, and then I was thinking, that guy's fucking big. He's going to squash you, little man. What are you doing? Why, you know what I mean?
Think that.
Especially when he started biting back, because at first he was like, forget about it. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
And you're like, aye, right, that's fine. But Yeah, I know what you mean.
But it's interesting because the music is all of that song, the Daniel Johnston song, Casper the Friendly Ghost, which is like quite an incredible counterpoint to the violence. So in a way, it definitely lessens it because it makes that kind of a fun scene. I find
Yeah, it is. It's weird, isn't it?
I mean, I think Clark's just trying to say the violence is just living in the city is violent, and the fact that everyone joins in is just kind of showing the kind of community of the kids.
That's the thing that I felt when they got there to the park. I mean, fucking spend like 10 minutes saying hello to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever said it's hello to as many individual people in my life ever before. And it does make you feel like this is their community. You know, and other than the violence, it does feel like a nice community. You know what I mean? They're not infighting really. You know what I mean? They all seem to enjoy each other's company, and if they weren't, if it wasn't for that violence and maybe like some of the questionable sexual exploits, you'd be like, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Like
the skateboard across the face is probably a bit too far.
Yes. Mind you, gets it at the back of the head first.
Yeah,
like that's when he goes down to start with, but
it's maybe sort of emblematic of what Clark's trying to do with the whole film in sense of arcs of morality. Like it's the kind of ebb and flow. It's like these characters aren't good or bad. It's like sort of greys in between. Because I think that's maybe like that contrast of the music with what's actually happening visually.
I also mean, sorry to interrupt. I also feel it's maybe like there's a definite attitude at that age that, and that seems to be played throughout. That there's no repercussions to your actions.
Right.
There's no comeback. The whole thing about the STDs and the violence. It's like a whole kind of like. Everything's alright. It'll be alright. Don't be silly. It'll be fine. You know what I mean? Almost kind of I was gonna say flamboyance, but that's not what I meant.
Right.
What's the word? Flippancy. About life almost. I mean, they've just basically beat this guy up like with weapons, effectively, and he'll be fine.
Right.
He was crawling. He'll be fine. He was shaking about.
Right.
You know what I mean? He'll be fine. So I feel that's a big thing as well. About this whole kind of invincibility of everyone at that age that you feel. Right,
that's true. It's kind of similar to Gummo as well in the sense that adults don't really exist in this world. They're kind of in this like sort of fantasy bubble.
Yeah, I guess it is a kind of urban realistic version of the kids from Peanuts, the adults from like Charlie Brown.
Right.
They the way they talk. The kids don't hear them.
Okay.
Seen no.
The
teachers like they talk and. The kids can't really understand. It's just that's all. It's just like that, and that's all you hear.
Right.
So it's kind of like they're, as you say, they're outside the kind of the vibrancy of youth. So they don't really exist.
Yeah, but in other scenes they're shown to be really good guys, like particularly the subway scene, that whole section.
Yeah.
In the sense that they go down and then they've got that guy with the accordion. Love that scene. Just that's like a total Korean like type character.
Yeah, definitely.
And just man, that shit kills me. Like that's what I want to see in films. Like just these crazy like weird characters, but it has a beauty to it. So if you get the guy singing and playing the accordion, and this little kid with like a weird like mullet haircut, just like doing this mad dance. Oh man! And then they're just standing there. It's like, hey, this guy's really good.
Yeah,
I love that. It's like they're not like teenagers who are just gonna like rip the guy as you might expect. And then on the train, you've got the guy.
Yes. That guy, that was brilliant. I love that guy.
Yeah.
I have no legs.
Yeah.
What's the song? What's the like?
Yeah, that's it. I have no legs.
I have no legs. First couple of times I was thinking, I was reading his t-shirt and it says "Kiss Me" in Polish, and like it was coming in, and I was like, is he really singing that? That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
That brought me up. That was good.
And then Casper gives him money.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's
so that's given them they're good guys in a lot of ways. But I was saying how they're kind of in this sort of fantasy bubble. I think the end scene is Clark's statement on that, in the sense that the party, crazy shit happens. Last scene, Casper direct to the camera, oh, what is it, like, what the fuck happened last night, or
This is.
oh fuck, I can't
I
remember the
kinda,
line.
he's like, oh man, what happened or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Then it cuts to this like scenes in New York, like early in the morning,
Uh-huh.
and it's sort of like contrasting that weird bubble that I've just been in with the what's actually happening outside.
Did not cut. It cuts from him having sex with her
Is that before that?
to the New York scenes.
Oh,
Then
okay,
it
right,
just
right,
cuts back to Casper in the
right,
morning,
right, right.
and then
Yeah,
ends.
yeah, and I love that because it's sort of saying like, here's what's actually happening in the real world,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's kind of the first guy you see is like some kind of drug addict, just like all over on the street.
It's also. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so it's like, this is what these guys could turn out like.
Aye, that was I
Yeah.
liked that. That was very
Yeah.
poignant. I thought because really, especially the first guy that was kind of falling asleep in the street, like sitting down. There was another guy that was going mental at a fence.
Right. Yeah.
But that really did. Like, I was thinking that's because it also noticed it felt like all the colour drained out the film at that
Right.
point as well.
Yeah.
That it became very stark. Whereas like for the rest of the film, it felt as if like the characters as well as the surroundings felt very colourful and like vibrant.
Yeah.
I guess the whole thing of youth, you know. But then these were them maybe 10 years later. Maybe these characters, you know, like
Yeah.
fucked up messes, you know,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah, and then that Sebadoh song that comes in at the end, which is another fucking amazing song.
Yeah.
But it's the first line: "Spoiled children soon to fall." Like, sorry for the lives we live, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's, I think that's Clark making a clear moral statement on like, yeah, he's showing teenagers as they really are, but he's not. He's just kind of saying this is what it is. He's not celebrating it.
Yes. Uh-huh.
He's well, is he? He's celebrating the sort of the tragedy of it in a way. But he's not saying it's great to go out and like fuck virgins and spread disease.
I don't. That's not what he's saying. Spread disease, bit man.
Right.
No. No, you're right. He's not. Yeah, he's not. He's just. I think it feels more he's just saying this is what happens. This is it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is where these people could end up.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to go one of two ways, really. They end up fucked up, or they're going to go at the middle, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Casper has just did a heinous deed, possibly exposing himself to HIV. And then he kind of sobers up, wakes up.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like that's the only point in the film where Casper's sober.
Right. Yeah, he drinks.
Yeah,
he's drinking all day.
literally, when Telly comes down and gets him outside in the morning, he's drinking like a 40. Is that a beer? I don't know what it is, but
yeah, something like that.
And he pretty much drinks that. Then he gets high, and then he does that the balloon thing. What's that? Is that like?
I read what that was. I can't remember.
It looked like it was almost like a kind of deprivation auction type thing, because his
Right.
lips went blue and stuff.
Right.
I really don't know what it was, but yeah. So it is really much like that's him waking up for the like he's just been. I mean, some of the moments when he's in the bathtub near the end, like in the party, were genius. You know what I mean? Like he's trying to give the guy like that's passed out, who's been sick.
Right.
He's hitting him with the beer. He's like, "Here, hit this," kind of thing.
Right.
I thought that was funny. And Casper, the dopest ghost.
Yeah. So that kind of, if anyone has any questions about Clark's intention, I think that redeems him in a way. Even though it might have been better if he was younger when he made this.
yeah, okay, right. I was quite disappointed in Jenny a wee bit.
Oh yeah.
I want, like when she didn't like stop Telly, sorry. I thought that was what we were leading up to, was her going in, busting in, stopping the busting.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to happen.
You wanted the big dramatic scene.
I didn't necessarily want the big. I don't know. I wanted her to kind of fucking, let's say here. I don't know. I just wanted that. I just felt sorry for the wee lassie. That was all. That was all.
Yeah.
I wanted her to get and punch him and say, "Stop doing that spreading thing," because it's like he's at the beginning, like talking about like virgins, no
Right.
diseases and stuff like that, and it's like he's out there fucking polluting the world.
Right, that's true.
But
that was sort of, I think Kareen said he based that on something he actually heard.
Right.
Or like it was a character who was doing that.
Right. It's stated that it's not 100%. But do you think Jenny had HIV, or does it matter? I guess it doesn't really matter, but
Right. I think she did.
yeah.
Well, what we're saying there about the fantasy bubble, I think that's true for the guys maybe, but not so for the girls, to contradict that. Because I think one scene I was wanting to talk about, the girls maybe they understand the reality of things, because there's one scene when she gets a taxi, and then the taxi driver, who is supposedly a rabbi dentist, and we're like,
He did look like a rabbi dentist.
the guy's talking about, oh, what's wrong, like break up with your boyfriend, and he's giving her all these like just
Cliched,
like
like,
just smile and everything, all right.
The weather's alright.
Yeah, which is interesting because in that sense it's the adult who is naive, because he can't really conceive
what a problem might be. Yeah.
He's obviously maybe from a generation that it wasn't an issue, to the extent it was in the 90s. So that's there with the girls. They are the realists, and it's the adult world who's getting out of touch with them, as well, like, in direct contrast to the guys, maybe.
I mean, that goes like into the literal translation when sorry, that can literally be seen when Telly's having like sex with the girls,
right?
Especially in both the sex scenes, because they're obviously played, they mirror each other quite well, you know, with the setup and how he's telling them and stuff like that. I thought that was quite well done. But when he's having sex with the first girl, like, the music's going and it's quite loud at the beginning, and like you can hear her just in the background saying "Telly, it hurts."
Yeah,
right. But it's like he's like, obviously, right, he's a guy, so he's fucking away with it, right? But like it's almost like that like slur of Vaseline across the realism, the reality of it for him,
right?
You know what I mean? He just doesn't hear it, almost. You know what I mean? And it's the same at the end with Darcy when he's like, having sex with her. It's like he's just like, you'll be fine, right? You know what I mean? It's just like he can't even conceive of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just outside that world. In the throes of ecstasy or whatever, but like it seems like, you know, just what you're saying, it's the guys that seem to be outside the realism, the realm of reality. And again, goes to the conversations that they were having earlier on as well. Right. You know, did you think it was a wee bit kind of? I felt it was weird when Telly rocks up to Darcy's house and like she's shouting Darcy at the window, and then her brother rocks up and he's like, "All right, how's it going? Aye, not bad." And he's like, "Is your sister there?" Like, why is he like? Everything my gut was saying, like, he's gonna go, "What are you doing, my sister?" Well, but like he just like, "I'll get her for you." You know what I mean? It seemed very like, I don't know. Like, surely everyone seems to know what kind of guy he is, right? You know what I mean? So like, what the hell? Yeah.
I don't know. They don't really give you the backstory of
I
how
guess
they know each other and stuff.
I guess so. But it feels like that would be the kind of prime situation. Would be like, stay away from my sister. Well, you know what I mean? But I don't know.
Although that guy looks like even younger than they are.
Do you think?
It looks like that, yeah.
I thought he was.
Maybe it's
he looked the same age as
but
Telly.
It could be. But
what age is he meant to be?
Telly?
Yeah. Is he like 15?
15, 16, I don't know.
That's what I thought. So did you think when Jenny ran off to find him, our intention was to tell him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like, even like right up to when she walked into the door, do you think you know, that was her intention, was like to have the big dramatic encounter, like fight, or not fight, but like, don't fuck that girl,
right? Well, yeah, but that was before she took the dinner from her.
Yeah.
So that kind of fucked her up. But I mean, that gives us a film that's like dramatic sort of thrust. But then sometimes once you actually thing actually happens, you're expecting, it's a bit predictable.
Yes, definitely.
So I like the fact that she's...
I think...
I like the kind of the tragedy of it.
Aye. I just felt bad for this one, you know what I mean?
Right.
But that's why it worked, you know what I mean? Because that's why it worked, you know, if it... Yeah. Wouldn't have been as powerful if it had done it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. That scene where she finds out as well, it's really amazing. It's just so simple. Just a shot of her face and it's like a slow zoom.
Yeah.
But a lot of the camera work is just like really simple,
Mhm.
which I think sometimes simple things, simplest way is the best.
Definitely.
Best party scene you've ever seen? Most realistic, or
Um.
what other good party scenes are there in movies?
Nah. None that probably are realistic,
Right,
especially set in America.
right.
As Kevin Bridges often
Oh,
says,
right,
Chad Hogan, you know, he's got a band in the corner and
right,
stuff like that. No, it was I did feel like that it started off quite energetic, obviously, and then everyone just got high,
right.
and then
Yeah,
the younger kids were saying like the party was dope, you know,
right.
and then they were like it burnt out quickly, though, you know, kind of it was like it was
Yeah.
over and done with. But yeah,
I got after one guy puking in the toilet.
oh yeah,
Staple,
staple.
party staple.
So I know it was good. But as I say, all of it felt, as I say, very realistic. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it did have that kind of sheen of kind of vibrancy to it, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and kind of fun, you know, and the characters were enjoying themselves, and for the most part, it wasn't at the expense of other people. You know what I mean? There were flourishes of that, but yeah, good times.
Hmm.
There was a rather like I guess it's just I don't know not being from that culture. There was a lot of use of the N word.
Right,
You
aye.
know, I found that quite weird.
Mm.
I don't know. Like I can imagine for some reason I can imagine like white guys, you know, getting all kind of like urban.
Right.
Like talking to each other like that, right? But
Mm.
when for some reason when there was all the black guys there, I
Right.
felt like that's a bit inappropriate, isn't it?
Okay.
I don't know. I think they would punch them a wee bit.
Uh,
I guess that's just the way they talk, but
I
like
guess,
I wouldn't
yeah.
like to count how many times. Could be the most times in a film ever.
Right. Um. Yeah. I'm never that comfortable with a white guy saying it. Like,
Yeah,
but I
aye.
guess we are totally removed from like
Yeah,
American
that's it,
urban life,
isn't it?
so
I
we
mean,
don't really know.
but in a way,
But
it's almost it's what I always think. Like you know, things the way it should be. You know, there's total acceptance. They're not like
yeah.
there's no discrimination on either
Aye.
side for you. Like, all right, the words maybe a negative connotations, but if they aren't finding it offensive, then who are we
Yeah.
to say?
Well, it's like, I mean, black culture's totally like appropriated the word, so that's fine if they want to use the word
Yeah.
and like to change its meaning.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Sometimes it's weird, like Tarantino uses a lot, like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
His character, Jimmy.
Right.
That's a wee bit.
I guess I get, but when you get the fucking what is it?
Deadening a storage.
Yeah. I guess you get Samuel L. Jackson in the film, like
Right.
really, like if he's saying it's all right, you're gonna
Yeah,
be cool, aren't you?
Mm.
No, I know what you mean. It
Yeah.
does. It's but maybe that's just a part of the culture that we're not privy to. It's
I
just
guess so, yeah.
as I say, I'm very on the side of like guns don't kill people, rappers do. You know what I mean? No, like if people aren't offended by words, then that's you know what I mean. What was I going to say? Like there's not a saying, but there's a kind of like, words are only offensive if they offend people.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? So like
Right.
if they're in that group and everyone is comfortable with everyone
Right.
using it, then
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with them using it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's when it's used in a negative context, I guess.
Right.
You know what I mean? But again, different people are offended by different things, different words. But I do get uncomfortable when it did. It wasn't I was uncomfortable. I thought there was going to be some. I was waiting on when they first got there. I was waiting on someone saying it, and then like
Right.
there being a fight or something about. You know what I mean? It just felt like.
Mm.
But you get used to it.
Right.
in the
Yeah,
film.
it's weird. I was watching it with the subtitles on,
Uh-huh.
and so, according to the subtitles, it's NIGGER.
Aye.
But
Okay.
sometimes a distinction between NIGGA, which is the
Yeah.
appropriated version, the sort of the benign version of the term,
Yeah.
compared with the older slave, the
Yes.
slavery.
Okay.
But so I'm not sure what one they're actually using. If that's like from the script or
Yeah.
what.
I would definitely say it was GGA
Right,
was
right.
what I was picking up from
Right,
it. But
okay.
as I say, it doesn't have any effect. As a white guy, I have no right to determine whether it offends or not.
Aye.
But as I say, it's, in a way, it's kind of nice that it can go away and not be, it can be used and
Right.
not be offensive. If people are comfortable with it. It's like when gay people talk about and use homo as like a kind of friendly term, or like bitch.
Right.
Like it's not something I would call somebody, but for fear of offending people, you know what I mean? But it has been taken back a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like everyone clicks too. Randall's want to take back Porch Monkey.
Right.
It's okay, I'm taking it back. Right. So, like as we mentioned before, like there was about 50 seconds
Aye.
cut in the UK version anyway. So like that was, you said that was from the rape scene.
Yeah, I think. Well, there's a few seconds I think cut from an earlier scene at the party where one of the younger guys, not like the real young guy, but he's getting kissed in the chest by a girl.
Oh,
So they had
right.
to cut that.
Oh
for
yeah,
a few
yeah, I
seconds.
remember. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Then
Was that not the young guy that was kind of, they were quizzing him about whether he was a virgin or not, and he was really uncomfortable
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it, and he was like kept walking as if
Any
to say
old
what I meant to
thing.
say. Yeah.
And then the main cuts are in the rape scene, particularly the shots of the younger boy. And see, the only thing I think that was the most heavy-handed Clark maybe gets, and I guess he's trying to say, this is affecting kids.
See,
A kid's lying there and this girl getting raped.
I get what you're saying. That you're saying that it's affecting kids.
No, I'm saying that's Clark's intention,
Right.
supposedly
See,
by cutting to that guy.
Right, and that's something is that your interpretation of it, or is it?
Well, that's
is
the
that
only thing I can really.
the way? I mean, I'm only not just to disagree. I'm not disagreeing with you technically, but I don't know. Like, I feel is it him saying like that they're oblivious to it? Again, the whole kind of no repercussions. Like
Possibly.
it's almost like not the norm, but that they're immune to it. They're not even. It's like the guy doesn't even wake up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I know he's like wasted or whatever, but is it kind of saying that like this wouldn't shock that kid if he woke up and saw this? Because
Possibly.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like I know he probably might not know that was what was happening. He would maybe just presume they were having sex, but he would probably just have turned over. I was waiting on waking up and turning over and like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's getting sugared about a bit. I would have woke up. But I don't know. It could be interpreted either way.
Yeah.
Is it the way that it comes across to me because he's right there and he's not even flinching to it? I guess if he'd woke up, maybe that would have been even clearer. But it may have come across as uncaring if he'd woke up and seen it and turned away. But to me, it's more like just not apathy, just like total oblivious to what's
Possibly,
happening.
yeah, that's one way to look at it. I just because I think he does go to it, like goes back and forth. Maybe a wee bit too much, but
that's what makes me think it's almost as if he's encouraging the viewer to like anticipate and waking up,
right,
and either doing something or not doing anything. Whereas he's saying it's not even, there's no effect.
Right, yeah.
Because this is just the way it is. I don't know. As I say, it can be interpreted both ways. Just, it's not something I thought about when I was watching it. But when you're giving your interpretation, I could see it the other way. You know what I mean? As much, but
yeah. So I went on the BBFC website. There's actually no specific information about the cuts, like as the reasons why. But
pwned.
Yeah.
Just written. BBFC was ear.
Yeah, I guess it's just like exposure of youth to.
I think they'd a big. It's weird because like, and obviously the rape scene's quite graphic, but like there's a lot of kind of fuss made about the partial and near nudity of adolescents.
Yeah.
And almost prepubescent adolescents. Can't get that fucking out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wee lassies and wee boys. You know what I mean? And it's good. Mostly the wee lassies, because the wee boy was closer to legal age. But so I would have thought there would have been stuff cut from that, to be honest. Do you know what I mean?
Although like he's not too lurid, really.
Oh no,
like,
definitely
nothing,
not. No,
yeah,
sure, but like
yeah.
it's still pretty graphic.
Yeah.
If you're involving like supposedly like 13-year-old
Aye.
girls, you know what I mean? And you know, it's still. It's not I didn't feel as if it was sexualizing them from a viewer's point of view, but
Right.
sexualizing them from the character's point of
Yeah,
view,
right, yeah.
which is less creepy because at least he's closer to the age. So, but you know, it's the BBFC, so you could think, you know, there's Wayne's in the other room.
Right.
You know, if they're talking about the whole exposure to the kid, where the rape's happening, you know what I mean? Well, the Waynes are taking part in the sex. You know what I mean?
Right.
Know what I'm saying, Gary? But so I thought when you said those cuts, I thought, you know, it may have been from those scenes as much.
Right.
I'm reading here like just some of the trivia. If anyone's interested, the film was given an NC-17 rating in US.
Right.
Apparently, this caused some controversy with Miramax Films because their parent company is Walt Disney Company.
Right.
Because Disney forbids the release of films rated NC-17. And like Miramax heads Bob and Harvey Weinstein came up with a simple solution. Apparently, they made a one-off independent distribution company called Shining Excalibur Pictures, which handled the film's distribution, and the film was later released in the US without a rating. But apparently, it was similar to what happened with the release of Fahrenheit 9/11.
Right.
But that's quite weird. Like, didn't realise Disney had a blanket kind of. Especially when it was coming through. I know, you know, Miramax, they don't plaster the Disney up front. It's, you know, it's Miramax, so.
Maybe just about the old dollar, because NC-17 is like cinematic death in terms
I guess so, yeah. But it still seems weird though that they were able to, you know, make this independent distribution company then, you know, supersede them.
Right.
When it was Miramax, it was... that, you know, owned it or whatever. So that seems like they're losing even more money. I don't know. You know, it just seems weird. It seems like almost they've got a kind of like PG or nothing.
Right.
The scene where the kids beat up the hoodlum, it says here. The part was actually inspired by something Harmony Korine had seen, like, and it was actually like 20 yards away from where the actual scene was shot.
What I forgot to say about that scene, I meant to say earlier, how later again it's the female character who's bringing a moral perspective. The Spanish girl is in the park. She's like that Casper, that guy's a dick. Until he just kind of nearly killed some guy. Yeah. So the guys are kind of they're not quite sure how to react to it. They're kind of upset about it, as you said, but they kind of they kind of just laugh it off. But it's the female characters who have a sense of responsibility.
Definitely. So like also Korine makes a cameo appearance.
He does, yeah.
Yeah, as what's his name?
What's that guy's name? AJ or something.
Something. No, I think it's something better than that. Fidget.
All right.
Apparently, he's got some mega glasses on.
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking like, oh my god, like look how young he is. Because I was thinking I think that is like Harmony Korine. But like he was like 18 or something. Like when he wrote it. When he wrote the film. So yeah, he was pretty young.
Yeah.
He gives Jenny the old.
Yeah.
Did you see a downer?
Yeah, that's quite an interesting scene, the club scene. Cause I think that's meant to be like a like non-alcoholic, like underage club or something.
Right, like excess.
But it's just like but it's like pure craziness.
Yeah,
like,
what was the whole thing with the foursome in the fucking toilet?
Yeah.
That was crazy. Like the chicks, like you don't have to watch.
Yeah.
I thought it was like, right, well, okay, take it fucking home then. Don't do it in the toilets.
Yeah.
You know, but I know. Again, that seemed like kind of hyper real, but like I guess you've never seen anything. Like none of the clubs I ever went to had that happening, and people just queuing up to see it and stuff. But
I'd love to see a Blu-ray release of this film.
Yeah.
Because it's
was it
never
shot in 35 or?
I think so. I meant to check that actually.
I'm not going to check it here.
Aye. Yeah, because I think the UK one's definitely a print.
Right.
Maybe in the US as well. I'm not sure. But it's never. Every DVD is just a film.
Yeah,
it's never had a decent selection of extras at all. And I think even I think I checked this. There's only one version of the DVD that's anamorphic.
Right.
Every other one is like older, non-anamorphic transfers. Just shit. So I'd love to see something like Criterion. Put this
Yeah,
out.
it seems like the kind of film.
I don't know. I don't think. I think Minimax is probably do
Yeah,
their
I
own
guess
thing.
so. I guess so. Yeah, it was shot in 35, so
right,
it was.
Mm.
Yes, it could really. I mean,
Yeah,
it
it
could
deserves
do with the boost.
just some love.
Yeah, definitely. Nice to see some nice features on there.
Yeah.
A commentary or something. Cool. Yeah, well, I wanted to see this for a while since we saw Gummo, so it definitely lived up to the expectation. And I'm looking forward to checking out some more Green's writing.
Aye.
Films type thing. I was going to say more Green's films, but you know, this is Clark's film, so but looking forward to see more either auteurs stuff.
Yeah, outstanding piece of work. Probably the greatest depiction of teenage life I think ever.
Yeah,
come out to film.
Scarily realistic. In a lot of ways. No, shockingly realistic. I guess like to most people. I think it's parents' worst nightmare.
Right.
You know, of what their kids are getting up to. But probably is what they're getting up to. Good shout, Gary, good shout. So that does us for kids this episode. Shall we move on, Gary?
Okay.
Yep. I think it's right about time for
Random Shit.
Welcome to Random Shit, the part of the podcast where we discuss pretty much any old random
thing.
business. Although we end up just usually structuring it quite a bit, don't we, for a random part of the podcast? You know,
yeah, it's a pretty defined structure.
Yeah, it's kind of. We do try and random up a wee bit, don't we? Sometimes. Anyway,
sometimes throw an odd curveball in there.
Sure. Yes. What would you say at Simon's
thought of the
week?
Fortnite.
Right, so anyway. See, it's random, it's all crazy and all over the place. You don't know what's going to happen. So anyway, welcome. That was just for any newcomers picking this up. I'll try and remember to detail it every other week or something like that, just so people know what this section is in case they just think, what the fuck? And they don't maybe understand what the jingle was about, Gary. So, little housekeeping part of thing. If you want to drop us an email about anything at all, good, bad, indifferent, drop us a line at cinema_subculture@hotmail.com. Also, give us a wee like on Facebook. It's facebook.com/cinemasubculture. We've also got a blog, which is Gary, cinemasubculture@blogspot.com.
.blogspot.com, is it not?
Forget it to cut about it. Now in the blog.
Right.
Get it, post a link.
Right.
So yeah, hit us up. So it'd be nice to hear from anyone, you know. Hopefully we'll maybe have some competitions, Gary, in the future. I've been looking into that for a while now.
Yep.
It's coming, people. and let's just say that our listener base isn't huge, Gary. Is it? I mean, it's not unfair to say that currently the listener base is not huge.
No.
It's big enough for us. We're happy with it, sure. But my point in saying that, Gary, is that entering a competition, your odds are pretty good. You know what I mean? So people remember that for the future, because if we get our asses off the chair and get around to getting competition stuff going, you know, could be you. Gary, you know what I mean? Don't think they use that slogan anymore, do they? So it's alright to use, isn't it? Lottery, you know. Don't know if they use that anymore. It could be you. You know, the big finger. Remember that?
I do, aye.
Remember sitting in primary 7 and Mrs. Simonton getting us all round the circle talking about the National Lottery starting.
Oh, yeah.
And telling us about what we thought about it and would your mum and dad be doing it and that.
Right.
You know, it's weird that, like, then, anyway, that was random. There you go, see what I mean? You never know what's going to happen, Gary. So we'll dive into what little news we have. It's been a slow week. It's only been a week since we recorded last. So we've not really got any news this week, Gary, have we?
End coming out of the pictures, you're gonna go and see.
No.
You're gonna go and see The Hobbit?
Nah. Don't fancy it. This is. anyone that I've said this to who likes Lord of the Rings has been kind of like, oh my god, you've not, I've never seen Return of the King.
Right, okay.
Saw Fellowship and Two Towers, but I never saw Return of the King. You seen them all?
Yeah, I liked him. Wasn't mad for it. But,
I liked them. Yeah, like, I wasn't mad for it, but I also wasn't mad because it's been like what 10 years or something.
Right.
No, it's not been that, but like it's almost that. It must be that, eh? It's been about 9 years
right.
since the Return of the King was out, just
Okay.
over. So, and I still haven't seen it. So,
Yeah.
Talking
The
about-
best part for me was just the hobbits like trying to get the ring, destroy the ring.
yeah.
Everything else was just kind of
Fluff.
incidental. Yeah, I was just wanting to get back to that
Does it
story.
it worries me the fact that this is 3 films though, from a book that was smaller than any one of the individual.
Oh, right, okay.
Like
This
Lord
was
of
like
the Rings
a
books.
sort of children's
It was,
version.
the first book he wrote. It was the book he wrote, and
Right,
and then
okay.
he wrote the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, right.
But some things got retconned in Lord of the Rings, so from the Hobbit, if you know what I mean.
Right.
There was things that get like kind of changed
All right.
the history almost of it in Lord of the Rings just a wee bit, just to make it work better. But yeah, as I said, the book, I think the Hobbit is actually is shorter than any one of the 3 books
Right.
from the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and they've made this into 3 films. But the reviews out for the first part, and they said it's alright. It's good. It's just not great. You know what I mean? Doesn't reach the kind of greatness. They're saying like a lot of the kind of orcs and stuff like that are CGI this time.
Right, okay.
Whereas in the original trilogy, it was they're all like guys and they were pretty, they were dressed up in like, full armor and stuff like that, and it was quite. Can be quite scary looking, you know what I mean? Quite visceral looking.
Right.
Whereas in this, they feel a wee bit kind of like the fight scenes are a bit kind of like half-hearted because they're not really fighting anybody. The guy that reviewed it had seen it in both 3D at 24 frames, and then he saw it in 3D at 48 frames.
Yeah.
He said the 3D didn't add anything to it. It was totally pointless, as many fucking. Well, what is the, you know what I mean? There's no point 3D. Sorry, on record. But he said the 48 frames wasn't as bad as he thought it was going to be, but it still did look like video. It still looked like the most lavish, well produced BBC drama ever.
Right.
You know what I mean? He says he was glad he saw it in 24 frames, which looked fine. So, don't know. Seems weird.
How is that though? Because I mean, video is only shot at 25, isn't it?
Like video is at 25 frames.
Right.
Sure, but like generally when it's progressive, like in HD, it's at 50 frames for the UK.
Right.
It's 50 hertz.
Right. Okay.
So it kind of doubles up. So I think that's probably what he means.
All right. Okay.
I think like most HD is like that's for broadcast TV is either recorded in 50 hertz or 60 hertz for the like as in 50 or 60 for the US.
Right. Aye.
You know what I mean? So I think that's what he means probably.
I was wanting to ask you this, like, but see how TVs though, how does refresh rate relate to frame rate? If it's like 200 hertz, I think my TV is.
Yeah, I think that's to do with that's more like for motion.
Right.
It's hard, right? It's like kind of like when you're recording on a camera, you get frame rate and then you get shutter speed.
Okay.
Which are related, and like, you set one too high for the other, then they get a kind of rolling effect almost on the thing. I think it's like how you get that kind of fake progressive thing you can turn on. You get stuff and like some I remember my first flat screen TV, and some TVs I go to people's house and I see it on and it bugs the fuck out of me. And it's like a kind of it's called, it's like progressive. It basically makes interlaced picture progressive.
Right. Okay.
But it gives it an unnatural motion.
Right.
It's almost like too fast. So I don't know if that's what the 200 hertz thing can do, but I've seen it like applied to like football games.
Right.
And it takes away like image blur. Right. You know what I mean? But when you're watching like a Blu-ray or a DVD, it is like directly related to like the frames.
Right.
Obviously, because like 24 hertz is what it goes down to when you're watching something in 24 frames.
Okay, right.
So I think that because obviously frames per second is not what we're seeing on the screen, because it's not frames. It's just it's like a refresh. How many times the screen changes per second? You know what I mean?
Right. It's 24 different images per second, but
sure, but it's not like technically. It's not like a frame or a cell.
Right.
Even in digital video, it's not a frame. technically, but
Yeah,
it's
right,
just the refresh.
Okay.
How many times the picture changes.
Right.
So I think that's what it is.
Okay.
I say 200 hertz. I'm not really sure with TVs when I think that's like an artificial thing that's put on.
Aye. I remember when I was like buying that TV, it was like amazing for sport. But then once I got like Sky HD, like didn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Aye, definitely. I mean, sometimes 200 hertz, like it can help even HD stuff, especially like because Sky HD's like broadcast at 1080i. That obviously helps. That's interlaced, so that helps get some of that motion blur away if you've got 200 hertz TV. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, that's wasted some time, guys.
Right. So right, you're watching something in Sky HD. It'll be 50 hertz. So, what is there a difference between what happens if you bring it down to 720p?
Well, what it does is it sets it to, I think it would. I think what it does is it doubles the frame because it's dealing with an interlaced image.
Right.
It kind of displays both images at the same time to make it progressive, which I guess would maybe take it down to 25. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I guess when I put it through my TV, it still comes through as 50.
Right. Aye.
But you don't know whether that's TV it's doing that or it's like a Blu-ray, like it's displaying at 24. But you know, if you don't have your 24 hertz or 24 frames per second mode put on, it will display it at 50 or 60. There you go, guy. I don't know. If anyone knows, let us know. It's weird because you get into you definitely get into the TV post processing the picture, which is why I think it is important when you're watching like something like a Blu-ray to set up your cinema mode if you have it, because that cuts out the post processing that the TV's doing. It just displays the raw file, the raw image, instead of adding in stuff or over compensating for things. So I guess when you watch that 60 hertz Blu-ray, like, if you don't have it on your thing, you almost lose that, the kind of what would you call it? Like, it's not a blur, but that the kind of fluid motion that you get in a 24 frame picture. That's a kind of filmic look. I guess you would lose some of that blur. Motion blur. There you go. So anyway, the 48 frame thing apparently looks a bit gash, but not as gash as they thought it was going to look.
Right.
Still seems
maybe it's just the fact it was shot on digital. Maybe if you did 48 in film, I think that's been done a few times. Like film's been, I think maybe the Oklahoma, the Rogers and Hammerstein, that was shot in a higher frame rate.
But has it ever been shown at the higher frame rate though?
Yeah. Sometimes.
I mean, that could have something to do it. Definitely. I mean,
but then that's
that's it.
Double the cost.
Aye, definitely.
Yeah.
Even more, whatever. So yeah, well, I was going to say something. Oh yeah, I was reading a bit. I noticed there's a post made by Eureka about the Joan of Arc release. Yeah. So there was an article by the Digital Fix website. It was just basically cracking on about the history of the film in home video. Like how it wasn't released here for ages. I didn't realise what a kind of like checkered past it had with trying to get released in different versions. They're saying like those 3 ways to have seen it. One was to have had your television tuned to BBC Two on the 8th of April 1971. And caught it in one of its only transmission terrestrial TV to date. Its only transmission, or you're a subscriber to Film 4 in 2000, in the year 2000, before it became a Freeview channel. And then the other way was to import the Criterion DVD. And it was just talking about the guy, the founder of Master Cinema, and how it was like one of his kind of like Dryer was one of his kind of big things to get into be a label. And it details a bit of the kind of Master Cinema history as well. How it started, obviously, a website and stuff before it became a label. So that's quite an interesting article if anyone wants to read that. It's Restoring Joan, the Making of a Blu-ray, it's called, the article. I say it's quite detailed and talking about like the history of the films and stuff. But yeah, like when you said it was coming out and stuff like that in Blu-ray, you just kind of, alright, that's great. You know what I mean? But like, the way that it gets there is really quite interesting. You know what I mean? Do you know why Criterion haven't released it yet? Like, you know how they had it in DVD?
It could be to do with, I think it's Government who announced earlier this year they've got a bunch of films they're going to be doing restorations for over the next year or two. I think maybe Criterion may be waiting for that, because if it's probable that I think they had maybe planned, because Criterion sometimes put out these videos called the Criterion Closet,
right?
Where it's people who are at the offices to like do something, like do an interview or something. They go into this office with like all the whole collection, and they get to pick like 5 DVD or Blu-rays or whatever.
Right. Aye.
And one guy was Adrian Utley from Portishead. And Portishead had a couple of years ago done a new score for The Passion Joan of Arc and played it live.
Sure, I read that.
So I think that's probably why he was there.
Right. But
nothing's been said about that since. So I think that's probable that they're waiting to see what this new restoration looks like. Because the Master Cinema one, they did their own exclusive clean-up of it, I think. But I don't know if that bodes well, because a recent release was Children of Paradise, which was released, restored by the government, and it's a piece of shit.
Right.
It's like totally DNR'd, or
right.
And it's kind of get a 2.5 in Blu-ray.com for the video, and it's surprising that Criterion agreed to release it. So I don't quite know the whole how it works, if someone's licensing an actual transfer master, and then it turns out to be not that good. They've already invested something.
Yeah, they can't know much you can do.
Yeah, so
kind of the Arrow situation, I guess, with the prints. I found it quite interesting as well that we're talking about the article that you know, Master Cinema released Vampire in DVD. It was apparently in partnership with Criterion. I didn't realise, like, you know, it was kind of
quite a few Master Cinema are that licensing the Criterion print.
That's pretty good. Yeah, so that was quite interesting, I thought. News to me.
Right.
my catchphrase. I think that's it, man. I don't really have anything else. As I say, it's been a slow 1 week since we've recorded.
Yeah.
We've only made 7 more days, Gary, you know, to prepare.
Think all that news. It's waiting to happen.
I know. So shall we move on to pickups?
Right.
Of which I have none.
Oh, man.
Well, I have got some stuff coming in the post, as usual, but I've been kind of told to fucking curtail it a wee bit because of the Christmas coming up.
Yeah.
People are telling me don't fucking buy nothing because we met about it. So I'm holding off just now. I've bought a couple of things in lieu of Christmas, but we'll see. No here yet. Do you want to go ahead, Gary?
Well, speaking of that film,
yes,
here it is.
Cracking. It's nice, isn't it? I saw it in HMV like the other day. Like, I picked it up. I was like, holy crap. And the HMV worker was like, "What's wrong?" And I goes, "No, mind." It's alright. Did you get the steelbook version?
Aye.
Nice.
And I went to town with this. This is a work of art right
really,
here.
Aye. Is it the same artwork that's on the Amory version? You know, it's like
I think it's that picture.
Right. But, is it right?
Yeah.
That's nice as well. I like that.
Aye.
The cover. I mean, it's a sturdy box, isn't it? You know. That's isn't opening, mate. I don't want to open it.
It's cool.
That's right. So 3 discs. Gary, 3 discs.
Aye. Is it 2 DVDs or something?
All right. So is the 20 frames and the 24 frames both on the Blu-ray as well?
Aye.
Yeah. Nice. What's the booklet?
And then you get the 100-page booklet.
100-page, Gary.
No, it's not a booklet. What am I talking about? That's a book there. 100 pages. That's
right.
a book, isn't it?
You're right. Have you checked out the transfer?
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but
that's nice.
Aye.
It's real nice. I really like the box. Like, I'm not being funny, but like, there's been like box sets that don't have as nice and sturdy a box as that. You know what I mean? It's really nice.
Yeah, it's a shame they couldn't get any like additional extras on it.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. What was the price on this?
$17.99.
For the steelbook.
Yeah,
it's not bad. So I've never seen the film, but I really enjoyed Vampire, so it's something I'll probably check out at some point, man. Get that back. We look at the book.
Here you go.
That's
what else have we got here?
What else you got, Gary?
Picked up Cinderella.
Oh yeah, sure.
Found it for $12.99.
Nice.
So I thought,
I kind of yeah.
yeah, it was on Amazon. Saw it, and then I thought, I really shouldn't be buying anymore. Then the next day it was back up to $15.99, but it was still $12.99 in play.com.
Nice.
So I thought, right, I'll just go in for that. Just get it soon as you can to get the slip.
Aye,
Don't
that's
want to
it.
lose that slip too.
That's I'm really kind of. I need to get Lady and the Tramp soon because
Right.
I want to get a slip for that. But yeah.
So have you watched the extras in this?
No, I haven't watched.
Right.
Well, what are the extras on it?
Backstage Disney stuff, Real Fairy Godmother, Behind the Magic.
No, I think
No.
I've watched that. No.
Um,
You watched the film yet?
No.
See, I wasn't one I was like a childhood fan of, but
Right.
I watched it this time and really I did quite enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what because when I love the kind of historical
Sure.
Disney
Mhm.
stuff they put on these. I don't know how much that's got on it, but
Cool. But you do another freebie yet? With the points?
for $5.50 I'm up to.
Oh,
So
I've got $7.50, so I think I can get a single disc edition of Toy Story or something. No, I'm not.
alright.
I'll wait to get the next one, then I'll get something
Yeah.
good.
Next 2-for-1 Disney sale in March.
You like have like a line to fucking Walt. It's like I had know when it's coming.
And the last thing for this week is this Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, the
Warner Brothers
Warner
collection.
Brothers collection, nice.
Yeah, I pre-ordered this. It was on the Hive, $15.99 or something, or 15 something, 60 or something. So
Sure.
that was half price. But as soon as this was dispatched, it turned up in Zavi for $11.95.
What?
That's a bit gutting.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought a bit like I could return this and then save £3 or something.
Is that you got now a third copy of North by Northwest?
Not exactly.
No,
'Cause
you
I sold
you
original one, that one.
Sorry?
I sold the one same as that.
Ah, right, you
And I've
sold
got
your
the
original.
digibook coming.
Yeah, So, well, you've got the Dial M for Murders. Have you checked any of these out?
No.
No.
That's meant really good.
Strangers on a Train?
Yeah, we talked about the Dial M not being that great a transfer.
Yeah, is that the same? Is it the same print and everything and the extra features as the US one? Strangers on a Train.
I think it must be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the artwork looks different, so I just wondering. You can never be too sure with these,
Right,
you know. That's nice. That's good. 11 quid on the Zavi now.
Yeah,
Still?
11.95 or something. Aye.
Yeah, that'd be worth having a wee pick up, I think. Maybe look at that.
Mhm.
Cool.
The only kind of thing to watch with this is, which is a wee bit annoying, the Dial M for Murder. There's one featurette that was on the DVD box set that they haven't ported over,
Right.
which was 3D A Brief History.
Ah, right. That's a bit of buggery.
I'm just gonna.
Especially when this one's actually in 3D now. You know,
Aye,
it's,
that's it. Good.
Did you see they've released a Charlie Chaplin box set in UK Blu-ray?
Is it from Park Circus?
It's got Gold Rush, Great Pretender.
Right, I didn't know there's a box set, but I knew there
Yeah,
was like
it's,
4 or 5 out.
I don't know when it was released, or but I saw it and I was thinking, like, wonder. I know you had them, Criterions,
Mhm.
but I wasn't sure what the features, things like that would be like on it.
Yeah, they're pretty bare bones. I think.
Chaplin collection, five Blu-ray disc set.
Right.
The Kid, Great Dictator, Modern Times, Gold Rush, and the Circus. 50 quid.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother with them, to be honest. The prints are the same because all the
Yeah.
transfers come from the Chaplin estate. But as far as I'm aware, they're pretty. There's not much on those UK discs, whereas the Criterion ones are loaded with bonus content. And the Gold Rush as well is like, there's the 2 versions of the Gold Rush. There's the silent version,
Okay.
came out first in 1924, I think, and then Chaplin later re-released it. He cut a new version in the sound era
Right.
because at that time in Hollywood everyone thought silent films, nobody's going to see them again.
Bye.
On the Criterion one, both versions are in HD, whereas I think the UK one,
You said this
the original
before,
version
yeah.
is just in standard definition.
Oh, really? Right. Oh. Definitely stay clear of that then. No wanting that. No, I'm just looking at the Hitchcock text. I still want to get the North by Northwest Digi. So I'm weighing up whether, like, I don't want to have 2 copies of it, Gary. So I'm weighing up whether, it's £11, but I guess I could just toss the box and that again.
Could do.
It's still 2 Blu-rays for £11. Still alright, isn't it? 3, but
Yeah,
what,
I mean,
like, if I do
sell
away
that.
with it, not sure you're getting it for a £5, aren't you? Or make less. That's true. That's what I'm doing, Gary. Yeah, so is that all pickups?
That's it, aye.
So we come to the end of this glorious episode, Gary, and we've barely mentioned Christmas once. But what would that make next episode, Gary? What do you think? What's in the cards?
Would that be some kind of festive special?
Well, festive. Well, I guess is it a bit what's the word, restrictive to call it a Christmas special? Does it exclude some religions?
It does, aye.
That may listen to the
What about our
podcast.
Jewish listeners?
Yeah. Another, again, you're being like, we only have we have Christian and Jewish listeners. Yeah, so we're gonna have a bit of a festive, Christmas special, Gary. Yeah,
Okay.
Christmas special.
Yeah.
And I put forward looking at rare exports, A Christmas Tale. So it's a Finnish film, directed by Jalmari Hylander. Yeah, so a bit of an alternative Christmas film, I believe. I've not seen it yet. I've got it on a nice Blu-ray set. I just smacked the fucking chair arm again. And I guess we could even have a look at maybe, it's an added bonus in the Blu-ray, you get Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. Can we look at that? I saw that Blu-ray thing was come, but no details about it yet. The Blu-ray version of that film. Yeah. So, and I think we're gonna have a look at some, discuss maybe other Christmas films, alternative and mainstream,
Right.
and a special Christmas edition of Random Christmas Shit. If there's any Christmas films you think maybe worthy of us either checking out, or you want to chime in with anything, drop us a line. You can maybe mention some shit. Yeah, so it should be some fun times. I mean, I'm perfectly, what's the word, planning on coming up with some Christmassy content. It's definitely my intention. What about yours, Gary? You got any intentions of coming up with Christmassy content?
Give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Not sure exactly what that would be, but
well, I think like stuff like carol singing. Look at your face.
Right, aye.
Yeah.
Bit of that.
Carol singing. Throwing snowballs.
Okay.
Wee bit of bevy. Oh, that's what we're doing.
Right.
Yeah, I'm imagining eggnog or advocate.
The mulled wine.
Oh, Gary, this is happening. Yes, yeah. Seriously, I'm not being shitting you.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a Santa hat somewhere, and I want you to get a pair of, and this is your only thing.
Right.
You know what I'm going to ask you? A pair of, what do you think? Santa boxers. No, a pair of reindeer antlers.
Right.
The foam ones.
Okay.
That's you have to get that, right?
Right.
We do it.
Where'd you get them?
I don't know. A tin of that.
eBay.
eBay's your friend.
Right, eBay.
You might get them for what, £1 or something.
Okay,
right. I'll get a Santa hat, right?
Right.
I'm not shitting you. Right. I want you, like, seriously, like I want us to do this, right?
Okay.
Right. See if you don't do this after the Christmas one, I'm not doing any more podcasts. Right.
Okay.
So like, if people want Gary to get Christmas antlers, hit us up on Facebook, right? If we get one or more like or comment about the reindeer antlers, it's going to happen. It has to happen. It's the law. It's what the listeners want.
Mm-hmm.
They want to have a visual medium in their non-visual content. They want to know that we are doing and saying and looking like stupid idiots. No, stupid. Take that out, guys. Scratch that. No stupid. Awesome Christmassy edits.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to wear the Santa hat and I'll wear the antlers, I'm game.
Right.
But we have to bring both those items.
Okay.
And we'll have some bevy.
Right.
Yeah. Have we laugh. have some good times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm looking forward to it. I'm jazzed.
Yeah.
Probably sounds better than it's going to be, but I think that the idea of carols that appeals to me.
Rocky, aye. Got a favourite?
Straight away, Little Donkey came into my head.
All right, aye.
Little Don. No, sorry. That was a wee sneak peek. Wee sneak peek there. Sorry. I don't even know if we can sing these songs. Are they
Right.
public domain?
No,
They must be.
don't know.
Must be. Are they on the telly and that?
Well,
No, tell me they paid for that. So yeah, I mean, tune in. I mean, it's going to be a hoot. It's going to be. It's going to be. It's going to be. You're going to think it's Christmas. You know what I mean? I want some. I want like constant. No, not constant, Gary, because that could get a bit annoying. But at the beginning, I want some kind of bells,
right.
kind of bell thick thing. You know what I mean? And at the end, a ho ho ho. Yeah. So we Kenny's coming.
So join us next time on Cinema Subculture. Thanks for listening, and
You big stream.